Hello, and welcome to nothing really in particular, really. I should start the stream off by bringing up something. So it's actually a few somethings. So first of all, these are actually relevant to what I'm about to talk about. So a local movie theater for a few days up until today, probably a little while ago, it was labeled as permanently closed. Now you're probably thinking, okay, big deal. This has happened before where it's been labeled as permanently closed for a day or two and then they changed it back to temporarily closed. But this time is a bit different. And the reason being is because, as I will show, please don't show anything suggestive. Okay, never mind. So, yeah. This right here. So, today, I, went walking as I said I would, although I said that on stream and Twitch last night. But a few nights ago, I had made a post on Facebook that I was planning on going walking out here. And, sure enough, I did. I think I might have posted about it. Maybe. Right. So, basically, about a day or two ago, I made a post on Facebook saying that I had some good news and some not so good news. And the good news is that I had a definitive answer to the local movie theater. The bad news being that I would find out that it really is closed for good. You're probably wondering, well, then why is it saying temporarily closed? Well, here's the thing. What may be happening is that it is permanently closed, but the owner of this particular location isn't quite ready to announce it yet. So they had to change it back to temporarily closed. And the thing is, a few days ago on Friday, I went walking out here, and there were still movie posters here. Now there aren't. And you might think, well, they could be adding new ones. And explain to me how, if you look very closely, there's still 2 areas with broken glass. Wouldn't they have cleaned that up? And not only that, but I didn't see any signs on the doors that would suggest that it was opening soon. I did see a police car patrolling the site of where the theater is, but that's just to make sure there's no one breaking in or trying to vandalize anything. But I still let them pass through, so that way I could go in there without, worrying about them thinking I was trying to trespass or anything, because I'm not the kind of person who would do that, but you can never be too sure nowadays. However, like I said, if they were to be opening soon, don't you think that they would have some kind of sign that says, this is going to be opening soon? And bear in mind, last year, in June, I think, or July, they made a post on their website saying that, hey, we're going to be opening up these locations. And initially they did list NRH at a rough time frame. and then that got pushed back, and then it was just outright removed from any mentioning on that article. Now, granted, the location is still listed on the website, but why would you have something listed on the website if it's not opened? Because if you're curious, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disregard this and class it as actually permanently closed. Because I know for sure that it is actually closed for good. If they do find some way to reopen it, that's good. And I should mention I'm not mad at Alamo Drafthouse. I just wish there was some kind of transparency where they would tell customers who have been waiting for this place to open that, hey, there have been some roadblocks we've been dealing with, but we have a rough estimate as to when we can open. But no. And the thing is, like, this is literally the NRH page right here. DFW, and then it has in parentheses NRH, North Richland Hills. What I find weird is that, don't you think that they would have given people some kind of announcement saying it's taking us longer than expected to reopen this location? So what I'm thinking is they were at one point trying to reopen it, but with the issues that they've faced, such as like all the roadblocks they've been dealing with and probably staff members getting sick and all that stuff, and all this other stuff going on, I just don't think it's going to happen. Again, I would love to be wrong, but I just don't see any chance of this reopening at all. So I said here an hour ago, please note this was previously labeled as permanently closed until a while ago today. If I had to guess, they're probably holding off on formally announcing the closing of the location, which it's already closed right now. Like, you literally can't go inside and get tickets or anything like that at all. Also, I just now realized something really stupid. I'm not from here. I was born here. Let me just fix that. Yeah, so. But I should mention, however, that if anything does happen, I will be sure to let y'all know. And like I said, I am going to be walking out there tomorrow to see if there's anything else that's new. But as far as I can tell, if they were going to reopen, I would have seen vehicles parked outside the theater, moving stuff around, or no, like people inside moving stuff around, checking on stuff. But there hasn't been. Like, the only vehicles I've seen are these construction vehicles because they're currently building a construction site for a little shopping area right near the theater. But as far as the actual theater itself, nothing. The closest thing that I would have to something else that has happened recently is that about a week or two ago, There we go. So I actually just fixed the thing. So now it actually says where I'm from. Because I was born in Bedford, but I didn't live there. So yeah. I'm gonna get my chapstick. It was right here. Yeah, so just a refresher. I am absolutely positively sure that Alamo Drafthouse, like this one, is closed. Because if you think about it, the other ones in Texas have reopened. But not this one. And again, a little bit of transparency would have been nice, like a little bit of here and there. They could have just said, hey, it's taking us longer than expected to announce this. But again, with these roadblocks and everything that they're having to deal with, it's looking way more likely that it is actually going to be closed permanently. And again, I would love to be wrong, because I really do love that location. And in general, I just love movie theaters. But I just don't see that happening. But I will say this. I had some good memories there. But anyway, so let's play some games, I guess. Oh, before I play some games, so I made something in Lego Digital Designer today. Took me a little while, not tremendously long, but it was something that took me a fair while. Load, please. Yeah. One brick was not. I don't even know what brick it was that wasn't placed correctly. But, yeah, so, this right here is, awesome. What it is, so I've talked about the Radical Earth universe that I made up, and the various things that are basically the same as our universe and different from our own. And by universe, I don't mean like stars and stuff, I mean like an alternative universe, like an alternative version of our world. And in this case, this is from a fictional video game called Delta Fang, or rather, it's from the game Delta Fang Jurassian, or Jurassian. And Jurassian is actually the name of a planet that you explore in that game. And the game itself is heavily influenced by Star Fox Adventures, which, I'm just gonna say it, best Star Fox game ever. Alright, it's my all-time favorite, and let me explain. The gameplay style is drastically different from the other games, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, sure, it adopts the Zelda-style gameplay controls, but I think that's a pretty good thing, because for one, it's something familiar, but it's also something that can suit the game in certain ways, but it also has that same flight combat. And, of course, as you can see, this ship is heavily influenced by the R-Wing from Star Fox. But it's called the Kametra Excursion model. Otherwise known in-game as the Kametra Excursion class. And what it is a special version of the Kametra that's designed to land in various different types of environments, and it's built to be way more rugged than the normal Kametra, because of the fact that the wings are reinforced so they can't break off easily. It has VTOL capabilities, so it can take off and land without having to worry about, you know, a runway. It's got dual laser cannons, which can be upgraded in the game. And of course, we got a very similar kind of technology to the R-Wing's G diffuser. They call it the Gravitational Dispersion system, and it works basically the same way, where it'll basically mitigate any kind of G-forces that the pilot might endure while flying. And what's really cool is this technology allows the ship to do a barrel roll, and when it does that, it produces an energy shield around the wings that deflects bullets and stuff. So basically it's the R-Wing with a few extra steps. And it looks a lot like the R-Wing as well, because Delta Fang in the Radical Earth universe is basically that universe's version of Star Fox. So yeah. Very, very cool. And as if it wasn't apparent already, Delta Fang Jurassian is heavily inspired by, Star Fox Adventures. So, just putting it out there. But the hardest part of that build was just trying to figure out how to make it look good. And I think I passed. Kind of. Like, I probably could have done better, but, you know. But anyway, so, yeah. No. No. Why? Why do I have to type so fast that I make mistakes even though I know exactly what I'm typing? I've played this game before, it's pretty cool. Good dreams. Oh, that is not a good dream. This is. Another thing that's not a good dream is, dream. I think you know where I'm going. I'm gonna say it. Dream the content creator is not fun at all. I don't watch him. I have never watched him. But I do know a decent bit about him. Faked speedruns and then acted like, oh, well, it's no big deal. You lied to your audience for God knows how long. And not only that, but you have these weird stands that think it's appropriate to, do I even want to say it? Basically, they fetishize him in really weird ways. Let's just put it at that. It's, disgusting. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's a plane outside. Not in the street. I don't think a giant airliner plane can land on our street. It'd probably like crash into the buildings and ruin everything and explode. And that just wouldn't be good. I wonder when this game is gonna get updated again. Probably. I guess I could check it out again because I haven't played this in a while. Yeah, so again, I should mention that the whole Alamo Draft House thing, I know for a fact that it is actually closed. Because again, there's just so many indications, so many things that have happened that have prevented it from reopening, that it's just, I just don't see it happening. Music. I think this is Windows 96. I think. I don't know. Alright, there's these. Kind of sound like that shark puppet thing. Alright. Hello, Magic. Hello. Name's Magic. It should be obvious. It should be pretty obvious regarding what I do here. Run along now. I have other things to do. Go on. Shoot. I'm not good at a British accent. I'm sorry. I really am not. I don't know why, but I like saying running like that sometimes. Just, I'm running. Are you lost? No. Where were you? Note to self, don't try to stream when you're literally tired. I shouldn't be though, but I am. I don't know why. I know there was a room that said something. Eyes. Meat hallway. Where did this meat come from? Hi. Someone's just like, hi. Just popped up. There's a dummy right there. You dummy! That's what I get for saying dummy. Nice. What the? Where am I? I don't know. Interesting. All right. How about we go to Google Maps? Google anything, I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know when I went to sleep last night, but I know I got really good sleep. I guess my body's just like, hey, you know you're still tired, right? Nice. You keep saying that, but I'm doubtful. In fact, I don't believe it. Anyway. Oh, by the way, if you haven't heard the news yet today, Sony is acquiring Bungie. Yeah. You heard that right. Bungie. The people that originally made Halo. So by that logic, even though Bungie no longer owns the rights to Halo, that means that technically Sony owns Halo. Well, kinda, but not really, because now it's 343, otherwise known as not as good as Bungie in terms of Halo, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's see what's new in the world of Google Earth. Probably not much, you know. Whoop. So I'm gonna do a thing. Street view. God, my brain doesn't even work today. Okay, so let me explain. So there's this sign right here, and that's for this. There was that sign over there, but it was knocked down at some point. And the thing is, you probably can't really make it out right now, but there were posters there. But they've been removed recently. Likely yesterday or something like that. Or maybe today. I don't know. But let me just bring something up real quick. If this place were actually to come back, don't you think that in my photo that I took, the glass that was in those two broken frames where the posters would go would have been replaced? And they would have had, like, new posters? Yeah, they haven't done that. And there have been no signs on the doors that would indicate that, hey, this is reopening. The only thing I would really notice whenever I walk by here is that there's a beeping sound that plays every few seconds, like a beep, beep. And I don't know what it is, but it's probably like a security system thing, like it went off or something. But another thing, don't you think that there would have been a vehicle from a staff member here that would have indicated that, hey, they're just checking on the place? No, not at all. There have been vehicles that parked over here, but they're actually the same people who are working over here on this. So, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to go walking and I'm going to check on the place again to see if there's anything that's new that would, indicate anything. Because as of right now, I am growing ever more doubtful that this place would actually be reopening. Because again, I want it to, but I just don't think that's going to happen. At all. And I know that, again, there's those roadblocks that they could eventually get past. But here's the thing. We would have likely heard at least some kind of statement from someone here about, hey, it's taking us a very long time to reopen, but we estimate that we'll be ready by spring or summer or something like that. Nothing. There's been a lack of transparency from this location in particular. Meanwhile, all the other ones are reopened. So, put two and two together, I think it's blatantly obvious that it is not going to reopen. Because it may say temporarily closed, but the way I see it, the only reason why it still says that, or went back to saying that, is because they just aren't ready to formally announce it yet. And while that would be sad to hear, that they are closing for good, I just think that that is the likely conclusion. And again, I would really rather see this place reopen. I really would, but the likelihood of it happening is almost zero. But there is still a chance. But for now, I'm going to draw my conclusion as not going to happen at all. I just don't see it happening at all. If it does, then that's great. But at this point in time, all the indications are leading to the same conclusion, which is it's not opening. Which again, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it was to be expected. But I mean, they should just announce it already, because I'm not saying I hate this location. I love this place. I loved it to death. Right? The last ever movie I saw here was the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And had it not been for the pandemic, I would still be watching movies here. Probably wouldn't have a job here anymore. But at least I could still remember the good times. But, again, it can say that it is temporarily closed all at once. But why else would those posters be gone? But, okay, for one, there are two of those little poster frame things that have broken glass on the ground. Busted glass frames, and two of the posters were forcibly ripped out by someone who was stealing them. I didn't see who, by the way. It's just, I saw that two of the posters were missing one day, and it stayed that way until recently. Again, likely yesterday or today. It was probably yesterday, because the thing is, a long time ago, I used to go walking during the weekends, but I stopped doing that. It's not because I would get in trouble. It's not that. It's just, I'd rather be at home, so that way my papaw, if he needs me to help out with stuff, I could help out. So very seldomly would I ever go walking during the weekend. But, I think that the removal of the posters might have happened over the weekend. Probably Saturday or something like that, because I was there Friday and the posters were still there. But I went there today. That was literally when I took that picture of, the posters being gone. And they were gone. So, the thing is, why would they remove the posters but not bother to replace the glass that was broken? Or clean it up? Or at least leave some kind of a sign on the door that says, we are estimating a spring 2022 reopening. There's nothing. And even if you check the website, there'd be nothing. So, again, they could say all they want that, this is temporarily closed. But I don't buy that for a second. And, again, that's not to say I'm mad at them. I'm not. It's just, again, I would have preferred if they would have been upfront and said, hey, because of the difficulties regarding reopening this specific location, we have decided through a difficult decision that we will be permanently closing this location. Instead of just holding off on announcing it. Because, again, for a few days up until earlier today, this was previously labeled as permanently closed. And the only other time where that happened was last year. And that was during the time when they were still reopening theaters, so I held out a little bit of hope because I thought, well, they're going to be reopening during 2021, right? No. No statements at all during this month. And again, we have these questions right here. When will the NRH location reopen? The owners have been hitting roadblocks seeing this location open per Facebook responses. They are reporting soon. No timeline has been provided. They can't provide a timeline on reopening if there is just no way they can reopen. Because for one, the equipment is probably old and decrepit because it hadn't been used in nearly 2 years. alright? And not only that, but think about it like this. There's also really, really old food that hasn't been used or cooked or anything like that since the pandemic started and they had to shutter. And, just... I think what's going on is the person who was in charge of that location, they're holding off on the actual announcement that it is closing down. Because here's the thing. One of my old bosses, I haven't added him on Facebook, but I have looked him up. It says on his profile that he is a former manager here, like former something. Let me look it up on my phone real quick. Yeah, it says former kitchen manager and chef. And that was from around the time we opened, so March 19th of 2019 to November 2020. And like, so what has likely happened is they've let go of the staff because they knew that, for one, I'm not saying the location is a bad location that they selected for the theater, but here's the thing. The only way for someone to access the theater is, and I'm talking about like the most direct route, would be to go down Davis Boulevard, which you can see right here. This is Davis. So what you would need to do, and this is just like, I'm using my neighborhood as an example. So I live around here. You would have to go from here, 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 all over here, turn, there, bloop, and then there, and there. That, or alternatively, going back to the same spot, that, then go down Precinct line, get North Tarrant Parkway here, this way, turn there. And of course, this would be no different because it would be like, and then you're on Precinct, and then, so in terms of like driving, that would be your only way to actually get there from like this specific neighborhood. And that's why they chose that specific location, is because of the volume of people around the area, specifically this neighborhood. And not only that, but the only other way that someone could get to this place fairly easily is they take a similar route, but instead, if they're going by Precinct line, they just go up to North Tarrant Parkway, go over here, then turn here, then here, and then park over here, and then there's a little hill that you walk down. But really, the most direct path would be, any of the paths I already showed. And I'm talking about, like, driving. So that way you could, like, access the parking lot. But, again, just to reiterate, the only vehicles I saw today over at the theater, other than the police car, patrolling the area before leaving just to make sure there weren't any, people trying to break in or anything like that. Because that's why that little beeper thing has been going off, is likely because of that. That or it's just something that happened with the security system. But I haven't seen any vehicles here. Or here. I did see vehicles over here. And you might be thinking, well, that's probably for the place then. No, because as we've already established, this area right over here is where a construction site is. So the cars parked over here are very likely for this. In fact, I think that is what it is. But all I'm saying, and then I'm going to move on from this because I'm tired of talking about the same old shit, is there's just no conceivable way that this is still this. Because like, yeah, yeah, so this one is opened. This one is open, Cedars. Nathan, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but, so from what I could gather, and this is just my own judgment, so I might be completely wrong about this, so I'm just going by my own gut here, but personally, I don't see this actually being temporarily closed. And that's really a shame because I just want to show something real quick. I'm going to go onto Facebook real quick and go onto my profile. Oh, Win. Okay. Nathan Win. Okay. So the thing is, ignore the friends. Ignore this. I mean, oh wait, you're, aren't you in the fandom too? But I should mention, so, up until a little while ago today, this was previously labeled as permanently closed. And I think Google just automatically does that over a 2-week period if a place has been temporarily closed. But what I've noticed is with this place, I check it daily. Welcome to Vietnamese surnames. Oh, so you're Vietnamese or Vietnamese American. Probably. I don't know. I hope that doesn't sound rude or anything like that. But anyway, so again, disregard this. Um, so yeah. Um, if I had to guess, word for word, what they're probably doing is they're holding off on actually announcing the closure of the location because it's already closed technically. Like you can't go in, you can't get tickets, you can't order anything or anything like that. But what I mean by closing of the location is like shutting it down permanently. Like, like removing everything. But here's the thing. I bring you this photo because if you look very, very closely, partly Vietnamese, or partially Vietnamese, and I'm born American. Also, if you can offend me, you're pretty dang special because I'm not easily offended. Oh. Eh. I try my best not to offend people if I say something wrong by accident. Like, if I accidentally misgender someone, I'll be sure to correct myself as soon as I can. But, yeah, wait. Said place still exists. Are you from around my area by any chance? If so, then, hey, a local. Nice. Um, oh, right. I had a brain fart for a second. Um, but if you look very closely, you could still see the broken glass of these on the ground. And, up until... No, okay. Um, so, something I noticed when I walked out here today is that, and this probably happened over the weekend, but there were posters of the movie Tenet that were in these. Two of them were missing because the little spots where the broken glass are, someone had forcibly... Oh, Southern California. Okay, okay. Uh, I'd imagine you guys probably have some Alamo Draft houses open there, so yeah. Um, um, but what I was trying to say is that two Tenet posters right here and here were forcibly removed, so there's that. But the other ones were removed over the weekend, and here's where it gets interesting. If they intend on reopening this place, and they started off by removing the posters, why didn't they bother to clean up any of the glass down here? And it's probably COVID doing it up like everything else. Yeah, but what else is interesting is there's no signs on the doors or anything like that. There was one time where, and oh, I think I showed this off in the stream a while ago. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. Wait, I'm not even monetized. Also, as you can tell, I'm very creative. Trying to find it. Damn it. Can't find it. But, I think what it was is, I showed it off on stream before because I had my webcam. I mean, I still have my webcam, but, basically, I'm gonna expand the webcam real quick. Oh. Wait, hold on. Oh, whoops. can't demonetize what's not monetized in the first place. Yeah. Um, I don't know if you could tell or not. Probably not. But that is actually a company called TMA Liquidators. And what's interesting about them is that, and yes, this is actually what I look like. I really need to shave at some point, really. But the thing is, that card is no longer there. But when I looked at it, the first thing I thought is liquidation. And so I looked on the card, and it says that you can sell your equipment and all that other stuff. And at first I thought, wait, I guess they're selling the equipment to get new equipment. Oh. Damn it. Wait. Hold on. I have an idea. I'm gonna plug my phone into my computer and I'm gonna get the photo that way so that way you can see it. Boop, boop, boom. Right. Oh. Oh, well, hi there. Yeah, I just plugged my phone into the computer. And the reason being is because I'm gonna... There we go. Stop humans being bullies. Yeah, I think it's also because of the brightness of the screen. Do 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 do. By the way, Nathan, if it's your first time on the stream, then welcome. I should probably shrink back the webcam. There we go. What? Alright, right, so I'm gonna import this. Apple. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna... First time I ever saw you pop up on my home feed, I think. I got intrigued by the fur part of your user and the fact no one was watching. So, fun fact. The reason why I chose fur, it's reference to... you can probably tell. But, I am indeed a furry, I should say. But I think it's already kind of apparent. I mean, for crying out loud, did you see my Facebook profile picture? It's my newest persona. Oh, wait. Save as... Look at this, I'm a right-click victim. Kidding. I got it. Okay. Curious how long I've been in the fandom. I've been in around 8 years now. So I first joined the furry fandom in November of 2013. So, it's actually kind of funny. I've been in the fandom for a little over 8 years now. What am I don't know. Okay, so I could still access that. So this is that card I was trying to show. There we go. Plugged back in. So yeah, by the way, that is me. So teammate liquidators, business liquidations, bank repossessions, restaurant and retail, landlord lockouts, industrial equipment, on-site and off-site and on-site sales, turn your equipment into cash. But when I first saw this, the first thing I thought is that what they're doing right now is selling the equipment and getting ready to liquidate the property. And because of that, I immediately concluded that, yes, it is closing permanently. Because, there's just so many indications. Because, again, a little bit of transparency from the owner of the property where they would have been like, hey, it's taking us longer than expected to reopen this, but nothing on the website. And like, now that it's been temporarily closed again, the questions thing is back up, and people are right to assume that it is permanently closed, like it has said occasionally. And some people have said, well, no it isn't, because I talked to them and they said this and this. Doesn't help when their website last had a copywriting date 2009. What, the theater? Or because I should mention that movie theater opened up in 2019. That was actually when I first got my job there. Because I got my job there whenever they opened. And in case you're curious about what my job was, you might have seen it on my Facebook profile, but it was dishwasher operator. And it was not one of those regular dishwashers. It's one of the ones that you would kind of see, or you'd probably see the kind of dishwasher that I'm talking about in a school cafeteria where they put dishes and stuff. Hi, Chad. Oh, boy. Oh, what the... Why did I do that? Yeah, so... Just putting it out there, this is not temporarily closed like it says. It is technically already permanently closed. They just haven't announced it yet. But they just aren't ready to do that yet. So, yeah. And another thing is early October. Yeah, that came and went. Nothing. Again, I just don't see this place reopening. So, as much as I would like to see it reopen, I just don't think that's going to happen. Not with the constant roadblocks and everything. Cool. Yeah, I know he's going to take me out to eat for my birthday, but I didn't know it was going to be Olive Garden. I haven't gone there in a couple of years, probably. Sounds pretty good. And actually, another thing that I should bring up about this place, actually not opening. So, this was posted back in March of last year by the Inner City Hall. Roadblocks. No, not Roblox. Roadblocks. Yeah. Chad, I just didn't know that it was going to be Olive Garden I was going to. I'm happy, though, because Olive Garden's really good. But again, there isn't any post that would suggest that it is reopening at all. So, yeah. I'm just going to draw the conclusion that it's just not reopening. I'd love to see it reopen, but again, there's just no possible way. I just don't see it happening. But, hey, it is what it is. No, what the... Hello, electric car. Free breadsticks time. Yeah, their breadsticks are really good. They're also a reference in the Sonic movie. Actually, speaking of the Sonic movie, it'd be really funny if they start off the movie with Olive Garden. Because they sort of ended off the movie with, someone from the military giving a Olive Garden gift card to... Yeah. But hey, you know what, though? I'm perfectly fine with that, because at least I could still get movies at local places. Certified Greenpeace moment. Greenpeace? What's Greenpeace? Should I look that up? Okay, I'm helping to look it up. think that's the wrong one. Is it Greenpeace USA? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Hey guys, look, it's a pet cat. I make bad jokes all the time, don't worry. Same thing as international. Oh, okay. Wait, so does Olive Garden work with them? Like, are they partners or something like that? Because up until now, I've never heard of Greenpeace, so I'm just curious. Also, whenever I walk over here, what I usually do is I walk along Precinct Line, which, it's this street over here, or not street, road. So I walk along Precinct Line. I actually live around here. Walk along Precinct Line, follow along it, and, oh, because environmentally friendly, okay. Or, what? It's funny that you mentioned that. I was about to make the joke that hello electric car that also happens to be a frickin' homicidal maniac robot. Because, can I just say real quick that autopilot in electric cars or any kind of car in general is a terrible idea? Because on paper it sounds pretty cool. You know, like, it'll follow traffic laws, it'll follow how traffic is going. But then you hear incidents where it malfunctions and it runs over somebody, which I hear all too often. Tesla, what is you doing? Like, guys, seriously. This, why? Why would you think that autopilot is a good idea? Especially in a highly advanced electric car. I didn't know we were talking about Skynet here. What is this, Terminator? In the year 2022, Teslas become Terminators. Terminator. Tesla. Something. Starring, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Autopilot in cars is basically the same thing as autopilot in aircraft, to be honest. Like, it's okay in aircraft because you're flying in the sky. But in a car, like, I understand if it's supposed to follow the roads and stuff and follow, like, what traffic is doing. But when you hear about autopilot malfunctioning in a car and it driving towards somebody who happens to be a pedestrian. Oh. Chad, I'm talking about Teslas. But anyway, after I get over here while walking in Precinct, usually I just go ahead and walk over to my local places like Walmart, Target, stuff like that. But what I did today, just to get it out of the way, is once I got here, I walked along this little back area. And then, as in it holds a general route, but you're supposed to watch out and take over when it screws up. Yeah, but here's the thing. The people who rely too much on the autopilot, they just think, oh, it'll take care of everything. So they'll fall asleep. And then the next thing you hear is like someone in the news saying, local person in a Tesla is woken up by the sound of someone screaming as their car hits somebody. Like, I really wish that Teslas would have some kind of scanner thing to see that it's going off the road and heading towards someone, and it like tries to stop itself. Because if the person driving the Tesla is just sitting there thinking, oh, well, the Tesla is autopilot, I'll just let it drive by itself. But what happens if they're still asleep and something goes wrong and they happen to be a really good sleeper? Yeah. But anyway, so I walked out here. I think I went back here, I think. And then I went down. This is actually supposed to be a hill over here. And then I walked over to the parking lot. But what I did first was I noticed that there was a police car just over here. Yeah, they do. I say that as I use a computer, but I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I'll just let my cell phone take care of everything. Just. Yeah, I don't do that kind of stuff. Because for one, I mean, I think it's pointing at autopilot and people don't understand how to use it properly. That adds on to that problem. I mean, yeah. Because when you think of autopilot, the first thing you think of is an aircraft, like a airliner plane. Because, like, I think the autopilot in planes, it has its own general route. Yeah, you already said that, but, like, Chad, I can't even see what you posted. Oh. Now I do. At first it didn't show the whole thing, it just showed that Chad, like, it just showed his name and part of his profile picture, and then it just showed the thumbs up. But what happened today was, as I said, I walked out here, saw the posters, but before then, as I was starting to approach it, I saw a police car rounding the corner over here, driving by, and I just let them pass because I didn't want them to think that, hey, I'm just going on over here, about to do something, because, again, I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't vandalize, I wouldn't do any of that kind of stuff, but I just let them pass anyway, so that way I wouldn't get confused as someone who was trying to do that kind of stuff. But after I let them pass, I went over to about here, which is where the posters are. Like, the posters on this wall, I think. So I stood over here, took a picture, which you already saw. And, yeah. And I also took a look at the other parts of the building at the front. Like, there's a glass door over here for this little bar thing called Vetted Well. And then there's the entrance over here. And, there wasn't anything on the doors. Even on an aircraft, you're constantly watching out for other aircraft, listening to ATC and other pilots, and listening and feeling for anything abnormal in your aircraft. Yeah. So, like, you can have autopilot on, but you still have to stay alert for anything like that, so it's good that you mentioned that. Because, basically, I'd like to think of the autopilot in cars as basically the same thing, but you're on the road. But even still, like, cars using autopilot. Yeah. But like, okay, I will. I was gonna say though, I hate whenever, Nathan, do you ever have those times where you think about saying something and you're about to say it, but then your brain just shuts off on you? Like, you're about to say something and your brain's just like, it just turns into mush. What I was gonna say is, I was looking around the front of the building, so I looked on the glass door over here, which you probably saw on the picture of the poster things that I showed, which again had no posters. And I looked over here on the glass door, looked over here, and the little card thing, it wasn't there. So I think it was either removed or something like that, but there's that, and doing it walking into rooms too. Oh, you're talking about the autopilot thing. Oh. Um. Um. Have you seen the new Scream movie? No, but I've heard of it. It looks really good, though. And this coming from someone who doesn't really watch horror movies, but it looks really good. Like, say you went to go get something or do something and then completely forget what it was. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. I thought you were talking about the autopilot thing. Yeah, no, see, that's what I mean. Like, you have so many things racing around your mind at once that sometimes your brain just overloads and it's just like. And then sometimes there'll be those instances where someone tells you, "Hey, I need you to do this for me," and then they tell you to do a whole bunch of other things, and so you have trouble remembering them because you have so many things. Then you realize you forgot something important and it's too late to go back for it. Yeah. That's good, Chad. But this is where the posters are. Were. Now, bear in mind, last Friday when I walked out here, there was nothing but tenant poster, nothing here, tenant, 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 tenant. Today when I walked out there, nothing. Nothing. You and me both, Chad. But, again, these two poster things, I don't know what the name of what those things are. They're probably just called poster frames, but they just look really fancy. But this one and this one, I believe, is what they were. The glass was still busted, and there was still broken glass on the ground. But that card thing I showed, um, it was on this door, and it was on one of these doors over here at the entrance. And I think I took a picture of the one over here. And basically, I was able to piece together that they're starting to liquidate this location. But I think what's happening is they're either getting new equipment to be up to date with the current regulations, or alternatively, since this place is very likely closed permanently, they've decided to start selling off the assets within the building. So, like, all the equipment, like the projectors and all that stuff. And then eventually they're going to start stripping the place down, so they're going to start removing signs and stuff. Which, again, seems very likely. Because, again, just to reiterate, I didn't see cars anywhere around here. Like, I forgot where I put my water bottle. I looked, and it was on my top bunk. That's happened to me before, where I'll have something and I'll put it someplace that I know I can find it at. And then, like, 2 minutes later, because it's been covered up by something, I spend, like, 25 minutes or something looking for it. And then I eventually find it after uncovering it from something that was covering it up. But anyway, so there were no cars out here. I should mention that the cars here are from an earlier photograph whenever this place was still in business. But there were no cars parked over here. There were no cars, from what I could tell, parked over here. The only cars I could find that were parked out in the parking lot were way over here. But that's only because of the fact that there is a construction site right over here. Which, if I go into Street View, you'll see it. So, there's some cars over here, but since they're starting to pick back up in the construction, there have been cars over here, but they're all for the people working on this construction site. I've done the old man thing where I put my sunglasses on my head and completely forgot that I did. And then, speaking of sunglasses, there are times where it's cloudy outside, and I go walking because it's still nice weather, because it's not rainy, it's just cloudy. And so I decide not to bring my sunglasses. And so, because of the fact that I usually do bring my sunglasses when I go walking, like, I sometimes feel my chest. Like, I touch my chest because I usually have my sunglasses hanging on my shirt when I'm out walking and it's sometimes sunny. And on the subject of not bringing my sunglasses when it's cloudy, sometimes whenever that happens, it becomes sunny. Meanwhile, when it's sunny and I do bring my sunglasses, it becomes cloudy. How does that work? How does that work? Anyway, so, actually, hold on. Does this show anything? So, this right here is actually from when the place was actually still under construction. Wait, hold on. think those are the same tenant things. But, oh yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. The new Street View images right here are really recent, so what you're seeing right now is actually from likely a few weeks ago, so there's been a few changes since then. Um, but like I said, I plan on going out walking tomorrow to see if there's anything that's changed. But then after that, I'm gonna have to take a few days off from walking because it's supposed to be cold, very very cold. In fact, so tomorrow it's gonna be 70 degrees, I think. Wednesday it's gonna be well, I mean, it's gonna be rainy, but then we have the day after that on Thursday. We're gonna have some wintry mix. And so it won't be until probably Monday whenever I can go walking again. I mean, next Monday, not today. But yeah. So I'm gonna check on the place tomorrow to see if there's anything new. I know it probably won't be anything new because, again, the removal of the posters that were left probably happened over this past weekend. So it was extremely recent. But, you know, all signs are pointing at this place actually, like, going away for good. Even though it says on Google that, hey, it's just temporarily closed. It's not. It's not. I'd love to be wrong about that, but it's just gone. Again, I would love to be wrong about that. I really do, because I loved this theater, right? Like, for one, it's partially because I had a job there, so I got to see free movies most of the time. Disney movies, I had to wait like a week or two before I could see them free. Some weird thing with Disney. I know, weird. But I still had fun. And the last ever movie I saw there was the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And originally I was planning on seeing the movie the day that it came out, which happened to be my birthday. Yes, the Sonic movie came out on my birthday. But I ended up deciding against it because it would be really crowded and I wanted to make sure it was a good day. So I ended up seeing it a week after that on President's Day. And glad I did, because it was a good movie. And now I have it on Blu-ray. But anyway, so all I'm saying, and I know I keep dwelling on this, but this is not reopening. Just putting it out there. Again, I would love to be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. Oh, there's a new update on Horizon Worlds. You probably can't see it, but I have a Meta Quest 2 over there on my bed. Yeah, so considering the fact that this, as I said, I'm I'm not saying this has been officially confirmed by Alamo themselves or the people in charge of this specific location, but the evidence is there. So let me just say this. Thank you, Alamo Drafthouse NRH, for the amazing times that you've given me, the amazing opportunity to work there, even if it was a dishwasher operator. Yes, that was actually my job, but I liked it. It was fun. Well, actually, it was a 2-in-1 because I did dishwasher, but there was also another job built into that where I did prep work where they would have you do stuff like filling up these little cups with ketchup, mustard, or something like that, or maybe you would have to put some cheese into these small bags, and it would have to be like an ounce or something, and then you close them up. I don't remember what else, but it was pretty cool. It was fun. But judging by how long it's been and the lack of communication with the people looking to see this place reopen, I just don't see it reopening. Again, I would love to be wrong, but hey. If by any chance another place happens to snap it up and turn it into something else, I hope they realize how special this place was in its short-lived lifetime here. Because, this was a humble little place, even if the only way you could really access it directly was just driving to the thing this way. That was literally the only way you could access it. Because if you look closely, there is a dirt path over here. But yeah, about that. It wasn't for the parking lot. And like I'm not saying that it was a bad location either, because it was very easy to get to. You just turned here or turned here, and here's the parking lot. Decently sized parking lot. The problem is, this was the only way to get access to this place by driving. Alternatively, someone could just drive over to here, park their car, get out of their car, and then walk down a hill, but that could pose a risk because you might trip and fall and hurt yourself, get injured, something like that. But another thing that kind of brings up my point of it not reopening is something that happened back in 2019. So in August of 2019, by we I mean the team that was working there, we got a message in this thing called Hot Schedules, which is how we got our work schedules and stuff like that. We were all notified through that due to school starting up at that time, because whenever we got the message, it was the beginning of August, and they said that because it was school starting up pretty soon, and because of customer numbers starting to dwindle a little bit, because a lot of the customers happen to have had kids, so you have to get your kids ready for school and all that stuff. So not as many people were able to visit, so they said, hey, you can look forward to some vacation time. Some vacation time. Some vacation time. Whole month of August, no work. Whole month of September, no work. October, no work. November, no work. December. Something that would normally make a place such as this very busy, no work. And by that, I mean, I never got called into work. January rolled around, and I did technically have to work, but I didn't go. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It wasn't that at all. It's because what happened was during a weekend in January 2020, well before the shit hit the fan, I was hanging out in my room. One of my cousins was playing a game. Like, I let them play on my PS4. And, I checked my emails just to see if there was anything that popped up. Sure enough, it did. I got a notification from Hot Schedules that was saying that I had a modified schedule that would have me work from 2 till 10. Problem is, they sent that message at 1:58. Some vacation time is basically schools here being told 2 weeks until this whole COVID thing settles down, and then a year and a half of online education exists. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So, by the time I saw that message, it was well past 2. So, all that time, I didn't even know that I'd been scheduled for work. Luckily, I wasn't asked about why I wasn't there, and I wasn't fired. However, I think whenever I went to see the Sonic movie, before the movie even started, I got permission to go to the kitchen area, because I knew one of my bosses was in there. And I asked him what was up, and the thing is, he never even addressed the schedule thing at all. I didn't ask him about it or anything like that, and he never discussed it with me. So I think what was happening is that they were short-staffed, and they were just looking for someone who might be available. And yeah. And I think later in the month, I also got a text from someone else from the theater asking if I'd be able to help, and I wasn't available to at the time because my Papa needed me for stuff, because I think it was a Sunday when this happened, and I was with my Papa in Walmart, so we had to get stuff because he was going to cook stuff, and he needed my help, so I just said I wasn't going to be available, which made me feel a little sad, because I didn't want to let my team down, but again, like, I just wasn't able to help. But February rolled around, no work. March rolled around. You can take a guess. Fast forward the rest of the year. April closed. May closed. June closed. July closed. August, lost my step-grandfather, still closed. I'm not saying my step-grandfather would reopen this place. No. I'm just saying that's something that happened during that month. Actually, at the very beginning. September, nothing. August. Wait, I already said August. October, November, December. Basically all that year, since the vaccines weren't a thing yet, they were working on them, but they weren't available until, like, basically at the very end of the year. Yeah. 2021, when things were starting to look for the better, because, vaccines and all that stuff. March rolled around. We're going to fast forward to March, because, of course, January, February, nothing happened. March. It was announced by North Richland Hills City Hall, and then later Alamo Drafthouse themselves that they would start to reopen locations, and at first, this was included. If I pull up the Wayback Machine, and you're probably wondering, why the Wayback Machine? You'll see. So, AlamoDraftHouse.com. So, we're going to go to April 28th. Oops. Anyway, and the reason why I'm using Wayback Machine is just to prove I'm not lying. So, we have the website and all that stuff. Okay. By the way, I love that poster. So, it wasn't March, it was actually the very end of April, whenever this first popped up. Excuse me, there we go. So, look at this. Literally says it right here, late summer, early fall. That was when it was estimated at first. Then this place started hitting roadblocks. Roadblock. Endless roadblocks preventing it from reopening. Fast forward to about here. June 3rd. Updated 5th, 14th. And you're starting to notice a little pattern. Oh, wait. Can I do it? No. How about here? Maybe? 7/22. Here's the thing. All references to NRH are gone from this. They removed it. But curiously enough, the location is still listed on the website as if they were planning on doing something with it. But if that were the case, then wouldn't they have, said something by now? Because this has not been updated at all since August of last year. As it'll say right here. Now open this. So this has not been updated in quite a few months. So, as if to fuel any doubts, that was the one to do it. Because, again, just putting it out there. As of this point in time, every single time I've gone out walking and decided to walk out here to see if there's anything new, which has been nearly every single time I've been walking lately. In fact, tomorrow I'll be doing that as well. Probably going to be doing the same thing as I did today, where I'll go ahead and walk out here, see what's new. But again, just to reiterate, no cars parked out here at all whenever I was out here. The only cars I did see, other than the police car patrolling around to make sure that there was no one breaking in or anything, there were cars over here, but it was only because of the fact that there was the construction site over here, so it's just people working on the construction site, and that's the closest they could park, with that being in the way of any equipment or any other employees working on the construction site. So because of that, I can very easily deduct the fact that while they may still be trying to reopen it, it's to very little effect. As in, such a little effect that it's pretty much impossible for this place to reopen given the circumstances. And mind you, I know that we have Omicron right now and we're getting through it because it was a big surge and we're getting over it now. But if that weren't to have happened, it would still happen regardless. Like, this would still be shuttered permanently, even if Omicron wasn't a thing and all that stuff and we were actually, like, recovering to the point where everything was basically normal. So, what I'm trying to say is that this, you'll be seeing some vacation time has turned into, you've been essentially let go from this place, but not because of your performance, but just because of circumstances beyond our control. So, in layman's terms, what I'm saying is, I wasn't fired, but I was still technically let go. I was never given a notification about it. I don't think anybody else was. But given the circumstances that this location is facing right now, I think it's plain to see. And I'm not mad about that either. I don't see why I would be mad about that, because really, like, I should mention, I was, like, really good at my job. I always paid attention, I always focused, I was always listening to instructions. I never did anything rude or anything like that. I was a really diligent worker and I always followed the rules. So it wasn't because of anything I did. It was just the circumstances that led up to this place closing down that I could safely deduct that it wasn't just me that was let go, it was everyone. So that's all I'm saying, is that I technically no longer have a job. I mean, I kind of do because I help out here at home, but that's not the same as having an actual, like, workplace job. But again, I should say that since I've safely deducted the fact that this place is closing down, because, you know, the card thing I already showed, the poster thing I already showed, which, again, like, the only way that would indicate that they were getting ready to replace the posters with something else is that they would have already had newer posters already for movies that were still slated to release. And they would have replaced the broken glass on those two poster cases that were still busted up. And there would have been a sign that says, "We're estimating an opening of, spring 2022. Which, mind you, that would be pretty realistic if that were to happen, but yeah. I don't think so. But assuming that this place is going away, and it probably goes up for lease, whoever ends up snapping up this location, just just... This is going to be a weird request, but make sure to honor this place by... Like, if it's another movie theater chain snapping up this place, then just make sure this place stays a good home for amazing movie experiences. Make sure it still has that same feeling of going to a top-notch movie theater where you can order food and drinks while you're watching a movie. Have that same... Just have that same vibe. But if it turns out to be something else, like a store or something, then I hope they understand the impact that this humble little place had on people who once knew it as the Great Alamo Drafthouse NRH. Because, honestly, even though this place was basically short-lived, hell, it had a shorter lifespan than the Sega Dreamcast, and that thing lasted until around March of 2001. I was like 4 at that time. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is, whatever happens to this place following the official announcement of its closure, actually not being open anymore, and they announced it as being up for lease for people, whoever ends up getting this place and turning it into something else, be it another movie theater or maybe a store of some kind, whatever it may be, just know that this place has a special spot in people's hearts, and whatever happens, I hope that the future for this place, again, whether it's turned into another theater or something, that hopefully is a bright future. If they end up tearing it down, that's going to be sad, because I really am going to miss this place. But, hey, I don't know, good things in life last forever, you know. And whatever happens, happens. You can be sad, but you can still remember the good times that you've had, you know? And I think that's, for me, what I'm trying to say is, while my job here was short-lived, I can at least remember the good times, you know? Getting to see Avengers Endgame here before the general public because of the employee screening. Which, by the way, it's funny that I mentioned that. They told us not to post it on social media. I never did, by the way. I was tight-lipped about it. I mean, eventually I did. I kind of let it slip, but luckily I was never, scolded about it at my job at all. It was good. But I never let anything out on social media about it. Yeah, exactly. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And the thing is, I don't cry very often. Yeah, Dr. Seuss. What I was gonna say is, so I saw Avengers Endgame here. Again, employee screening. The other movies I've seen were John Wick 3 Parabellum, Detective Pikachu, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, I think. It's the one where he's facing off against King Ghidorah. And the funny thing is, whenever I saw that movie, I had recently gotten into Godzilla, which I still am into Godzilla, although I don't really watch the movies very often because I haven't had a chance to. I really want to at some point, and I've seen quite a few movies like at Walmart, so I might get them and maybe do like a movie-thon. um, let's see what else. Um, hmm. You know, I think after then I just stopped seeing movies there for a while because there wasn't really anything that interested me. Um, but then in February of 2020, like I said a while ago, I saw Sonic, and I was really surprised by the movie because I thought, oh, well, it's a video game based movie, it's gonna suck. It was amazing. In fact, it was so amazing, not only commercially, but like critically acclaimed. That's why we're getting a sequel, yo. Watching the cogs turn. Isn't that a saying? I've never heard of that saying before. um a friend of mine sent me a message a while ago. Um uh oh. Oh, right. It's because I was trying to think of some. Yeah, sorry. It's just for some reason I have trouble thinking of like other stuff I want to talk about, and like all I could think about is this place closing down. I guess it's just the depression kind of setting in. I don't mean like actual clinical depression. I mean like just sad. But anyway, I guess another thing I should bring up is that there's a chance that a certain online game from PS3 might be making a comeback. And these guys might be the ones doing it. Because I think they were the former developers. London studio, by the way. But anyway, yeah. Um, and now you're watching the cogs turn once again. It's just, for whatever reason, my brain's just like, hey, do you want to have trouble thinking of what to talk about? It's like, my brain just turns to mush. Now, this right here, I searched it up because of the fact that, like I said, So last year was the only other time where this happened, but for a few days up until earlier today, this was previously showing permanently closed. And then they updated it to temporarily closed. Yeah. I mean, Mondays are slow days. I guess that's why Garfield hates them, is just slow days. Actually, I need to look that up. Why does Garfield hate Mondays? Oh boy. So, oh, it's a fan theory. Why do I have voice cracks? Come on. Wait, what? There's a no Monday calendar. Um. I always thought he hated Mondays because it's like a slow day of the week. It's like, Mondays, it's like the beginning of a new week. Well, actually, it's Sunday, but, like, Monday is the start of a new work week, stuff like that. So it's like, it's naturally a very slow day because you're getting back into the grind of things. So I always thought that Garfield just hated Mondays because it's a slow day, so it's like he's waiting forever to see John again. But, yeah. On the contrary, I am perfectly okay with Mondays, but it's probably because of the fact that, again, saying that to anyone who works in law enforcement, firefighting, or EMS, yeah. Because, like, I think they also, like, they work every single day of the week, because it's not like an emergency just magically can't happen on the weekend. Just, oh, there's a fire. Okay, it's gone now. Looks like I can't call the fire department because it's a Saturday and someone's probably just playing with their wife and kids. But, yeah. I have no idea why I'm so tired. Oh wait, yeah I do. It's 11:28. And like, here's the thing. I try to go to bed at a good enough time to where whenever I wake up I'm still well rested. There have been times where I go to sleep at like midnight or something. But like, today I woke up at 9. Get Fire Department Chronicles in on this. I actually never heard of that. Um, so here's something that's weird. So Yelp Yelp says that this place is closed. But then we have this, which listen, if I mean I'll probably watch that tomorrow. But anyway, so yeah, I'll probably watch them tomorrow. But anyway, so Yelp says that this place is closed. But and what's with this? Why are there hours if this place is closed? Oh yeah, I forgot it's Chinese New Year right now. I'm not Chinese, by the way, but happy Chinese New Year to the people who celebrate that. Even though you're actually, it's funny that I bring that up because I'm gonna go to YouTube real quick because oh hello me there was a video that popped up from Chrome Studios of all people, probably leftover since they were open. Yeah, that's probably it. But I want you to look at this. This is something that I wasn't expecting to see because, well, just look.
The Excursion has 6 USB ports and wireless charging. That's great when you have kids.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
They'll still find something to fight about.
We Vietnamese celebrate it too. Oh, well then, happy Chinese New Year. I think it's, well, I mean, it's Year of the Tiger, I know that. But what's really cool about this is, so this year is the Tasmanian Tiger's 20th anniversary. Which is funny because by the time the first game came out, I was 4 years old. Wait, was I? Hold on. The Tasmanian Tiger. Okay, no, I was 5 years old. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, so this October is when this game series celebrates the 20th anniversary. But this right here is basically a teaser. So, this is actually a new engine that Chrome Studios is using. I think it's Unity? But, that's Thai. This looks cool. And then look. I think we're about to get tied as Tasmanian Tiger 5. I don't know when, but It's gonna be good. Oh yes, anthropomorphic characters are starting at this fandom. Yeah. What's really funny is my first exposure into the fandom wasn't anthropomorphic characters. It was because whenever I was younger, I came across a video of some people in partial fursuits playing Slender the Eight Pages. And I looked more into it, and like I quickly realized, hey, I like a lot of these things. Maybe I'm one of these. November 2013, I would come to find out, yes. And all these years later, I've been blessed with friends and fun experiences. But actually, my first exposure to Ty the Tasmanian Tiger as a whole was Ty 2 Bush Rescue. And I don't know if it was 2006 or 2007 when I first saw the game in Kroger. Or no. Kohl's, not Kroger. Kroger doesn't sell video games. But I was in Kohl's with my papaw, and he let me look at the video games because he knew they had some. And at the time, I had a GameCube. I no longer have it, but whenever I did, I loved playing on it. Like, I played it every day I could. But when I was in Kohl's, not Kroger. I don't know why I keep saying Kroger. I guess it's because both places start with a K. But I came across well, it wasn't this one. It was the GameCube version. And I was hooked because, for one, it was a platformer game, and as someone who grew up playing Mario and some Sonic, one of my childhood favorite heroes, this game kind of fit right up my alley because of the fact that, for one, it was a platforming game, but I also had played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto every now and again, and it had an open world, and this game had an open world where you got to drive in a car and go to different places, and I loved the game, and in fact, I love it so much. I have it on PC, and I have it on PlayStation. I also have the original game on PlayStation, but not on here. I just have the first one. But, man. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Rather, the second one. And I have played through all three of the games, and I have briefly had all three of the games. But out of all three games, I know there's actually a fourth one, but I haven't played it yet. It is on Steam. But out of all the games I've played in the series so far, 2 is probably my favorite. And it's partially because, I grew up with it the most, and I played it the most. But it's also just, I had such a deep connection to it because of the fact that I loved the gameplay. It was just so fun to play it. And so whenever I got my PC right here, my HP Pavilion, back in 2019, I got this game as soon as I could. And then, whenever I found out that the game was out on PlayStation, I got it on that, which, if I look up when it came out on PlayStation 4, not PS2, because on those old consoles, the 6th gen, Because that generation of consoles started off with the Dreamcast, then PS2, GameCube, Xbox came out. But yeah, here it is. So this version of the game, which Chrome Interactive? That's different. Chrome Interactive. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm gonna sign up for this. I was wanting to do it a while ago, but I kept forgetting. So, you're also about to see my actual name. Then again, you already saw it on Facebook. Alright. Here we go. So, yeah. About Chrome Studios is the company you keep. That is such a adorable thing to say. Chrome is a professional game development studio based in Brisbane, Australia. Okay, I was just checking to make sure my chest isn't made out of metal. I think I hit my heart. Anyway. It's actually pretty funny that I did that. Founded in 1999. That was when I was 2. It has shipped over 45 titles with partners and publishers worldwide, including Disney Interactive, Microsoft, LucasArts, Activision, Electronic Arts, Vivendi Universal, and Konami Digital Entertainment. Originally formed in 1999 by a small team of dreamers, fueled by at least 1 million cups of coffee and perhaps a beer or two, the team has grown from strength to strength with amazing partnerships, development partners, and talented individuals behind the scenes that make it all possible. Man. So, these are all the people in the team. So we have the CEO and world traveler, Robert Walsh. Flying all around the world to talk to clients and other game developers, Walshy's racked up so many frequent flyer points that it's clocked back over to 0. Walshy steers Chrome through the waters of game development and makes business deals, but you can also contact him by joining various different guilds and various different MMOs. Stematitis, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Steve's favorite pizza contains pepperoni and anchovies and sometimes other toppings. It could be cold, warm, or hot, so long as it makes its way to his tummy. Like, you do CPR on people who aren't breathing, and no, they don't have a heart rate. You're breathing, man. Gonna need to get you signed up for CPR classes. Well, I mean, what I was doing is, You said you seem pretty human, so I was trying to joke that I was actually a robot by, like, hitting my chest to make it sound like, I was pretending that I was hitting my chest to make it seem like I was feeling if my chest was made out of metal. So that's why I was doing that. I wasn't trying to give myself CPR. Anyway, when he's not making, eating, or dreaming about pizza, Steve draws pretty art and designs games, for which he's won an award or two. And I just realized I screwed that one up. Hey, no worries. Lindsay Parmenter. Lenz is kind of like Hannibal from the A-Team, except he isn't a master of disguise and doesn't smoke cigars. Actually, when you think about it, that's a pretty bad analogy. Forget it. Lenz just organizes things and makes them run smoothly, so long as it's not on a night where there's footy on the TV. George Stematiadis. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Audio director. So this is head of development. This is creative director, audio director. Sound and music with a bit of rumble, video editing, and writing thrown in for good measure. George is learning to live with Oxford commas and LUFS. He owns several instruments like guitars, pianos, banjos, ukulele, but is yet to learn to play any of them. 50% cat person, 40% dog person, 10% person. Though not literally as that would be scary. That's funny. James Podesta, lead programmer in iDad. When he's not making games for iOS, you'll find him and his two kids building mansions in Minecraft on their networked iPads. Other hobbies include training his kids to write games and attending 3D superhero movies. Occasionally, he spends a day mowing lawns and worming sheep. These are oddly adorable. I don't know why. And I mean that in a good way, because this is one of my favorite game development teams of all time. Perry Hart, senior programmer, data plumber, and euphemism aficionado. Usually found making car sounds with his mouth or laughing at the general population. Perry just wants milk that tastes like real milk, but will settle for beer. He likes long walks in Google Earth VR. You know what's kind of sad about that? Google Earth VR, I think, ended development a long time ago. Right, so actually, oh my god. My eye hurts. So Google Earth VR is only like PC VR. So that's why I was looking that up. So that is actually pretty cool. Damien Stewart, senior programmer and explorer in multiverses. Well, I think they should probably play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I should mention that is a genuine PS5 and a genuinely messy table. When he's not programming games, he's playing them. Damien is forever seeking out a good yarn in games, books, and videos. He was there when Space Wars was a cutting-edge video game and hopes to be around when holodecks become reality. I don't know about you, but I think a Meta Quest 2 is close enough.
Oh my god, it's a holodeck!
Holy cow, you and I are looking at the same thing for GEV. Oh! For a second I didn't realize what GEVR meant, but then I was like, oh wait, Google Earth. There is something on Meta Quest 2 called Wonder, but you do have to buy it. I think it's $10 or something. But it works essentially the same way. It's just stuck in Street View. There's no photospheres though, but there's still Street View, which is pretty cool because that means you're basically going on a virtual walk that way. Only you're walking on the road, but you don't have to worry about like dodging cars. Kevin McGrath, which is the final one that we're looking at, artist and optimist. Optimist Prime. Kevin Keith likes to make things look like things and is occasionally successful. He is forever the optimist and always smiling. If Kevin is not in a meeting, he is requesting to have one. When not stuck inside task tracking software, he is spending time with his kids. Most I do is VR chat in VR. I was actually playing that a few hours ago, and so I know that the VR chat on Quest 2 is pretty limited, but I was able to find a really cool Star Fox one, which is just the Great Fox from Adventures, which I'm gonna have a fairly controversial opinion about that game. It's my favorite Star Fox game, and I'm not just saying that because it's the same kind of gameplay style that I like. I just find it to be like the best out of all of them. Because, let me explain. So, in most of the other Star Fox games, it's just like flying around in the R-Wing or using the Landmaster. But Star Fox Adventures changed it up because it had a Zelda-style control system, which most people kind of like. My PC can't do VR, unfortunately. It's a GTX 1050, so it can't do VR. And I've never tried to do VR because I don't want anything to happen to my PC. I don't think anything will happen. It's just probably going to say, sorry, but you can't do that. But one day I do plan on getting a new PC as an upgrade, and hopefully that one will have VR. Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, whenever I got my PC, it was before the Quest 1 came out. Plus, the reason why I got this PC is partially because I was looking to buy it anyway. And it was also because of the fact that I had always wanted a gaming PC, so for what it's worth, I will say this. This PC has lasted me a good long while, and it's served me very well. So, it may not be able to do everything in the world, but it's good enough. And that's all that counts. Anyway, so. Oh, I already watched that. Dude. So this newswire. Wait. Speaking of, I need to see my emails. Because I know I put in my current email, because it was BK432. I think what it is, though, is if there's anything that comes up, they'll send me a notification on there. So, I was reading through this the first time, which actually, this is my first time seeing this, but February 1st, 2022, which is February 1st for Australia, as you know, other side of the world. The Aussie Video Game Studio is celebrating 20 years of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger by kicking off the 2022 Year of the Tiger with the release of a 20th anniversary celebration video. This coming September 10th, so that Wikipedia thing was actually wrong. Will mark 20 years since Ty the Tasmanian Tiger was launched on Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. Robert Walsh of Chrome Studios shares with enthusiasm. He continues, September is also when we'll be releasing a next Ty the Tasmanian Tiger game. What can we reveal? It is not a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3 project. So they're not going to be bringing Ty 3 to consoles. Ty 4 and next Ty something cute, another Kickstarter mobile card game. Let us know what you think it might be. If a mate's forwarded you this email, be sure to sign up for our Chrome Insider newsletter and get all of our Year of the Tasmanian Tiger announcements first. But I have to say, Ty looks really good. Like, they kept his design, but they modernized it to where it's, like, more detailed. Which is good. Because, you know, like, the last thing you need is really dumb journalists going like, oh, well, why isn't he as detailed as these newer video games? It's their own art style, shut up. Like, if they want to make him look like a realistic Tasmanian tiger, so be it. But if they want to have, like, an updated look to him, while still having that same vibe, it's good. It's good. Because they want him to look the same as this in the actual game, but, you know, also, speaking of Ty, whenever I was a little kid, I always thought he had two mouths. He has one. It's just the art style makes it look like that because, you know, it's cool. But the way how you can tell that he does have one mouth is if you are playing the game normally and you press the bite button, which, yes, there's a bite button in Ty, what'll happen is you'll have to be really quick when you do this, is you'll do the bite animation, and as soon as you start it, you'll have to quickly press the rank selection button, and it'll pause the animation to where you'll clearly see his jaw like open up like it's really cool. Actually, I think I could probably show that off because I have my Xbox controller in this bag over here. Look at it. Look at that. It's cool. I got this last year. The controller is really good. Anyway, so I guess I could play tie this as Mini and Tiger 2 just to celebrate the 20th anniversary coming up. And why do I keep looking at the thing? I'm gonna turn on the fan real quick so I don't burn. I'm back, and you didn't hear a fart. Anyway, there we go. Start, please. Thank you. Wait, hold on. So, oh, the yellow's doing is because before that I said I'm gonna turn on my fan so I don't burn, and then immediately after that I was pretending like I was burning anyway. I was gonna say, so you probably don't notice it, but my monitor, like my primary monitor right here, is a newer monitor that I got a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. And it is actually a gaming monitor I got from Walmart. It is actually their brand, by the way, but it's actually really good. But damn it. There we go, that's what I was trying to show. Yeah, I know, it looks weird, but the reason why I bring up my monitor is that it's actually running at 160. No, 165 hertz. The monitor I'm currently using right here is what used to be right here.
Hello, toy.
Greetings, TIE unit.
Hello, robot. So, yeah. In case you're ever interested in getting this game, it's on Xbox, Switch, PS4, or PS5 for backwards compatibility. But it's really good. It's just as good as I remember. Complete with lizards. What the? What the? The boomerang wasn't even hitting him. It was literally going right through him. And yes, they were exploding. There we go.
I got money from murdering a lizard.
Well, he doesn't have a life anymore. I lost my life savings. Triple kill. Whoa! It looked like the boomerang was about to hit me. Yeah, this game is really good. I believe it came out in 2004, I think, because, like it said in that newsletter, the first Thai game came out September 10th of 2002. This one came out 2 years after that, or about 2 years after that. Oh, bye. Boomerang logic. Man, I remember back whenever I was a little kid, the explosion effects looked really different. Because, I thought they disappeared for a second. Can I just say that this music in the game is chef's kiss? It's really good. Oh, what the? It's ray tracing without ray tracing. Nice. Triple kill. I saw that. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and, so, I was actually gonna show what the explosion effect looked like in, this version and, the old version. Oops. So, the controller's moving around in the bag because I placed it a certain way. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do do do. So, what the crypto rang? Hey man, I'm gonna turn in for the night. See where I am. Good night. Good night, Nathan. Hope you have a good night, man. That does not sound like Lo Wang. So, it was recently announced today that the upcoming Shadow Warrior 3 now has a release date, March 1st. And I got a chance to listen to the voice actor for Lo Wang. Hi! Alright, well, since I can't really think of anything else to do, I think I'm going to end the stream here. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, then like, comment, maybe subscribe if you want. You don't have to, but it's still appreciated. But in any case,